Big Sean to me has always been a very strange anomaly because whenever this guy drops, I'm always excited to hear it. Whatever he features, whenever he drops a single, I'm always excited to hear it. And it's not even inherently because I like him. Because generally, if I look at his discography, I really don't like everything he's put out. I feel like, to kind of go over the discography real quickly, actually, his first couple of albums being Finally Famous and Hall of Fame, I really just didn't care for. They weren't bad to me. They had a couple really kind of fun bangers on them, some really cool features from people literally like Kanye West, Drake, Nas, Kid Cudi. But when it actually came down to the content on the albums, I found them to feel very repetitive and useless. I didn't walk away from either of them thinking that was fun. I walked away from both of them thinking, why? What did I get from that album? Why did I hear this? Why should I really care about Big Sean amongst any other rapper? And every single great song on those albums, there's like a better version of somewhere else. Then when he came with Dark Sky Paradise, it was looked like it was going to come across as his big moment. Oh my god, that was way better than the other albums. But it ended up just being way worse to me because I enjoy this single. I'm not gonna fully say the name. I'm just gonna say I don't fuck with you. I love that single. That's a great single. But when I was actually building into the album, I really just couldn't care. Like that album just goes on, and it just I had a hard time staying awake honestly across that. I really didn't care for it. Then I decided dropped in 2017. And I cannot tell you the surprise I had on my face. And not only did I play a Big Sean album and I enjoyed it, I played a Big Sean album and I thought it was actually great. There were a lot of better themes on it. They felt more personal. It felt like Big Sean's voice, not him trying to do a Pusha T or a Kanye or a Drake. It felt like he decided he wanted to be Big Sean and nobody else. It felt entertaining. There were a lot of fun bangers on it. While not everything on the album worked, I really enjoyed it, and I also had a great Eminem feature. So generally speaking, with I Decided, I'm now going into Detroit 2, 3 years later, pretty interested and pretty excited, because I have already established that I think Big Sean found his voice. Now, and I didn't actually listen to that Double or Nothing tape with Metro Boomin. I should. I haven't listened to that. Or his 28-8, but that actually came out before I Decided, so it doesn't really matter. But, we didn't really have much to go into this album material-wise with. We had the single Deep Reverence with Nipsey Hussle, which everybody, including me, absolutely loved. We had the other single, it was Harder Than My Demons, which I decided not to listen to. I decided to just skip it, wait for the album, hear that when the album came out. I'll talk about that soon. But overall, there was actually a lot of hype going into this for me. There was a lot of hype going into this also because I felt like I was listening to a hype-produced, entertaining album that didn't feel weird. If that makes sense, we haven't had that many albums like that recently. I felt just like I was going into something that felt kind of raw, felt kind of off the cuff, felt very, very personal. I don't know what it was, but there's something about the album art, the single I heard, and everything going into this that just made me very excited and really interested to hear it. In fact, if I were to have made a list of the albums I don't want to make I will probably next year do a list of albums in 2021 that I'm interested to hear when they drop. But with this, it wasn't like I don't know if I would have placed this on a most excited albums of 2020, but in terms of albums that have actually dropped this year, this is one of the ones I was more excited for going into it because it just sounded cool to me. It just sounded cool. New Big Sean, more raw Big Sean, less let's make a commercially appealing trap banger album, trying to go off of like the Kanye style, and let's actually do something about my city, my personal story. And that just made me interested to go into this. We open up with the first track, Why Would I Stop, which doesn't inherently come across as one of the best tracks on this, but it's still entertaining. There's a confident, kind of more boomy sound to it, and it has a lot more bass to it. It's not perfect, but it is entertaining, and it works pretty well as an opener. Then we have the track Lucky Me, which is a track that at the beginning I wasn't too in love with. I found the production felt a little off. It felt a little lacking, energetically at least. Then that second beat comes in, and that second verse, and this becomes one of the best on the album. He goes, I don't think I've ever heard Big Sean this hungry and this mad. He just goes in, tearing up every bar and every line, and I just loved hearing it. Then we have the track Deep Reverence, the one with Nipsey Hussle that dropped last week, which I loved then, still love now. I think it has a kind of darker, kind of more menacing sound to it. Nipsey's verse on the opening is perfect. The whole production on this is some of the best I've heard all year. Big Sean delivers a very lengthy, but very emotional, very real verse. Overall, while you can argue there's no like grand theme to this, it's just a really well done, really entertaining, darker but lovable track, and it's one of the best honestly on this album. Then we're treated with the track Wolves, which I feel like might be right now. I think this is my favorite off the album. I'm not gonna stick to that because I think Deep Reverence is also amazing. But Wow was a Post Malone feature, not what I expected to make the best song really from this album. I found the hook the most catchy. I found the beat the most like engaging. The verses were all really well delivered, really well put. Big Sean killed it. This more spacey, dreamlike, intense beat worked so well. This track just perfectly fit together. Every piece of this was just so well put together. And generally speaking, I loved it. So from this first 4 tracks, I really love this. Like, this is one of the best I've heard all year in terms of albums. Then we're given the track Body Language, which is okay. I didn't really care for, I need to read her name again, sorry. I didn't really care for Jean or Sean's verses. They were fun. But it came more across as, oh, here's Sean doing a party banger on an album that's supposed to be about his city and the crime in it. Why? I don't know. It just came across as a little bit of a bland, come here girl, party banger. It wasn't bad, but I could have done without it. Then we're given the track Story by Dave Chappelle, which is one of the many people who are featured on this who just tell stories about Detroit. This one, he kind of follows a story with him going to do a show in Detroit and him meeting Danny Brown and like his interaction with that. And I mostly enjoy this mostly because I just love hearing Dave Chappelle. He's probably my favorite comedian. He's a legend. He is so freaking great. It's awesome. And this is just actually a really great thing to throw in the middle of this album because it kind of continues to bring that whole point of there's a reason why this is called Detroit 2, not just like another random Big Sean title. Then we have I'm going to scroll down a bit. Then we have the track Harder Than My Demons, which was a single last week. I liked it. It wasn't perfect. It didn't have as much I loved about it, but you know, I like how it's not too long. It does not drag out. It has a bit of a more emotional side to it, a little more personal side to it. It isn't as great, but I enjoyed it, and I don't think the album, I'm closing this way, I don't think the album was any worse with or without it. Then we have Everything That's Missing, which was good. A lot of the tracks on this album, I'm going to have a hard time 100% knowing what to say because a lot of these tracks sound the same. This one sounds good. I really liked Dweel on this. It just didn't come across as that important. I actually think when I listened to this on Thursday night, when I was, listening, how I do listen to these songs, this first time I just rank all the songs. I think I forgot this song by the end of the ranking. So it's one of the more forgettable for this album. But I didn't hate it. I obviously enjoyed it. Then we have ZTFO, which I'm pretty sure is a Travis-produced track. It actually doesn't say that on Wikipedia. I thought it was. I'm going to say it's Travis-produced because it really sounds Travis-produced. But I also don't want to say that because Lithuania is Travis-produced and it also has Travis. But I love this. This is one of the best on the album. It has some of the bassiest, most well-done production. Big Sean kills it. I feel like he really wanted to do this. And I'm pretty sure it was Travis production. I feel bad going, it was produced by Travis Scott without the 100% knowledge it was produced by Travis Scott. Yeah, it is. Actually, I think it is. Yeah. Is it? Wait. I don't know. Whatever. I'm saying it's produced by Travis because it sounds like it is. Maybe just correct me in the comments if it isn't because you guys love to correct everything I say. This is a great track. Absolutely loved it. And I thought it worked very well with the theme on the album. Guard Your Heart comes up next with Anderson .Paak, Early Mac, and I have a crack in my screen, so it's kind of hard to read some of these names. Walleye. Okay, Walleye, yeah. This is beautiful. I loved this track so much. It felt like such a more personal, more emotional moment on this album. I wanted to cry when I heard Anderson .Paak. This man is a legend. Anderson never sounds bad. I mean, never. I don't know how you go wrong with this guy. 2 weeks ago, he was on that Nas album, which I really enjoyed, King's Disease. Go watch the 2 videos I made on it. I really enjoyed what Nas did there. Weirdly enough, I didn't actually enjoy what Big Sean did there. I was expecting a Nas feature on this, honestly. But Anderson .Paak on that really worked. But this is why I loved Anderson. This is why I love Anderson. I felt like on this track he did so well. He's actually the reason why I love this so much. Anderson's just vocals. I can't even talk about it. It's so amazing. Then we have Respected, which is great. It's a great banger. It's a little bit harder. It's a little bit more, confident. I don't know if I expressed this, but I like the Hit Boy production, by the way. It actually definitely did sound like King's Disease. By the way, I'm really new to Hit Boy's production, so just saying, I've only really heard King's Disease from him. Young Thug, though, look, here's the thing. Young Thug, I got immense respect for this guy. He is very inspirational, inspired a lot of these modern rappers, but 90% of the rappers he's inspired are rappers I don't particularly enjoy. Like, rappers like Lil Baby, Gunna, I don't enjoy those guys. So I don't really enjoy Young Thug. I haven't really heard a full-length project for Young Thug. So maybe once I thought we were going to get Slime Language 2 a couple weeks ago. So I thought I was going to start hearing some Young Thug, but I didn't. And I don't really need to. But I would like to hear So Much Fun. I hear that album's good. I bet I could enjoy it. But to me, Young Thug, I definitely respect how he's creative. But I just don't really enjoy him. And that's just a personal thing. So on this song, I don't particularly love his verse. I enjoy the rest of the song, though. And that's more of just a personal, I don't enjoy his style of rapping. I do understand, though, that he has immense popularity, and I think he deserves that popularity. It's just not for me. Then we have the track Lithuania with Travis Scott, which has been getting a lot of praise. People really like it. It's the track that I feel like is going to become the popular one for this. And I see why. I mean, it's got Travis Scott on it. But, man, I did enjoy this. I enjoy the way we're able to comprehend, or we're able to take what makes Travis Scott so good and what makes Big Sean so good, and then mash them together and it not just be a total mess of everything. It's entertaining, it's fun, it has that really nice sound of Travis, but has a nice sound of Big Sean. I really like the way these two coincided. When I read that he was on this album, I was so unfazed. I really just thought, wow, Travis on another album. But, I can't complain. It was a good feature. Then we have Full Circle with Key Wayne and Diddy, which I love. It's not... Now, one reason why I haven't really thought about this track as much is because I think Full Circle in my head became the song on King's Disease. Now it's supposed to be the song on King's Disease, and there's also a Full Circle on Detroit, too. And on the one on King's Disease, it's not even one of the bland tracks. It's the freaking Firm track. Like, that track is so... I replay it so much. It's so good. And now I have this one, too. So I don't know. I'm just going to be like, what do you want to listen to Full Circle? Which one? The amazing Big Sean one or the amazing Nas one? But, Key Wayne killed it. Just saying, Nas is on a totally different level of quality than Big Sean. He's so much better. Now we have the track Time In with 28, which was the only track on this I did not save. And I'll explain why I didn't really save this. I like the chemistry these two have. And I'm wrong. Okay, never mind. I'm going to stop talking about Travis producing that one track. I don't dislike these two chemistry. I think they work well with each other. That being said, though, I just find this track not very fun to listen to. And I just found it annoying. I didn't find it bad. I didn't find it terrible. I just really wanted to skip it. It's the only track on this album I feel is genuine skip. There are a lot of the time, most albums I have, most of the tracks I don't listen to all the time. I usually just listen to, like, the 5 best. But this one, I really just don't ever see myself listening to again. I really just didn't enjoy what he did there. I don't really enjoy the whole 28A concept. I just don't think the two are really... I think they have good chemistry, but I don't think it's what Big Sean should be doing, especially on his own album. Then we have Story by... Oh my god, the stupid crack on my screen keeps blocking up these names. Erykah Badu, which is very entertaining because it's very different than Dave Chappelle. The story tells us comprehensive. It's entertaining. It's fun to listen to. It's not as good as Dave Chappelle's, but it's Dave Chappelle. I enjoy this. Then we have the track Feed, which is another one of those tracks that just, it's good, but it didn't really add much to the album. For me, it had an entertaining sound to it. He had catchy hooks, catchy lines, good bars, but it doesn't come across as important to the sound of this album, but it's not better without it. Now we're given the track The Baddest, which I want to talk about. Because you guys really went quick to just trash this. Not this. You want to trash this, but not just... Oh, I've been looking at writer's credit, not producer. That's funny. So I probably could find out right now if Travis produced that one track. I'm going to do it. Sorry. I'm sorry. I was talking about that one. It doesn't say he did. It says No ID produced ZTFO. but I'm just saying he produced it. I don't know. It's really hard to say right now. Somebody correct me if he produced it or not. I want to know. The Baddest is another No ID produced track. Y'all know me. You don't. I love No ID. He's one of my favorite producers in the game. That No Pressure project's one of the best I've heard all year, but y'all hate this beat. And I don't see why this is such a terrible beat. It's not great. It's not perfect. It's a little annoying. But it's... Some people have called this like one of the worst beats of the year. How? How are you going to call a No ID beat one of the worst? This is actually pretty well produced. It has a really nice sound to it. I don't love it. I don't know if the trumpets sit well with me, but I thought Big Sean had a nice flow. It coincided together. It's not one of the best on the album, but this isn't like that track where, you know, the flow is great, but oh, that production. The production is No ID. It's great, okay? Shut up. Now we're given the track Dawn Life with Lil Wayne, which I didn't really have high expectations for, and that's more because I don't have high expectations for anything in 2020 that's Lil Wayne. This is like top 4 of the album, though. Wow. Lil Wayne, where have you been? This is a freaking great verse. He murdered it, and Big Sean, too. This is so good. Where was this? Where was this sound on your funeral garbage? That was terrible. Okay, never mind. Now we're given the track Friday Night Cypher, which obviously is my most anticipated song to be on this album. Mostly because I like the idea of taking a bunch of taking a lot of Detroit rappers and just throwing them on the track. More or less, though, anybody who listens to this is just going to see Big Sean, Royce da 5'9", and Eminem. I personally... You know, mostly I'm not a Detroit person, so I don't know every single one of these guys. I know Boldy James, though, and I reviewed him like 2 weeks ago. I didn't even was really that nice to Boldy James' last review. Well, it was nice to him, I just was mean to Jay Versace. But, this is a good track. It's not a track I won't find myself listening to often, mostly because it's 9 minutes, and the only track I usually listen to that's 9 minutes all the way through is Runaway. I'm sorry, Under Pressure, Dance of the Devil are great too, but it's Runaway. The Friday Night Cypher, this is entertaining. I find all the verses to be entertaining and fun. My only issue with them, though, is that I kind of really don't feel like this was the best way to incorporate all of these Detroit rappers on this. You could have thrown, I don't know, Boldy James on Feed, 42 Doug on The Baddest. You could have thrown all these guys on other tracks, and they would have got more of a moment to shine rather than just... Here's 20 seconds on this one cypher. Nobody's actually going to notice you because everybody's going to skip to like the 8-minute mark or like the maybe 7-minute mark when Royce and Am come in. Royce comes in and Royce kills it, but it doesn't even matter to me anymore because I don't think Royce can do bad. This is one of the best rappers in the game, man. Every time he's on a feature, every time he does a song, he knows how to write a beat without even following the right flow. Like, you ever heard that Not Alike verse? How does a man rap like that? How does a man rap like the first 2 verses on Caterpillar? How does a man rap like Rock City? How does a man open up Detroit versus everybody? This guy's a legend. Then we're given Eminem. I cannot tell you how excited this verse made me. This verse was so fucking good. And I love it because I love hearing Eminem kill it. This is a man whom, while I don't think this Hit Boy production fits in any reality with his sound, oh boy, he goes in, he goes long, he goes fast, he raps about his city, he raps about his fame. This is why you people need to respect Eminem more. I see Eminem on hip-hop Twitter. I see Eminem get so much hate. And I've expressed in the past that he's my personal favorite rapper. That's not just because my skin is white. I can see why it seems cringy for this white boy to be like, Eminem's the best. Because I can see why. But no other rapper has had more of an impact and emotional effect on me as a human than Eminem. Not even anyone close. I can think of one rapper who has more songs I constantly revisit for their emotional points on them. But, you know, the man's not great anymore. At least, I mean, I don't think Music Can Be Murdered by Our Kamikaze are great albums. I personally find them fun, but I don't think they're great. This is just a freaking great verse. And I like that this verse is great because I don't know the last time I could say Eminem killed the verse. I do enjoy it. I haven't actually updated this on anyone. One of my earlier reactions, Adventures of Moonman and Slim Shady. Most people will know I wasn't big on that song. But upon more listens, I really do like Eminem's kind of slower, more technical verse. I thought it worked well. Eminem just kills this, and he does it in such a right way, just to make you think, yeah, you guys disrespect Eminem a lot. This is why you shouldn't. This man's a legend, and whoever, that one guy who said Stillmatic was better than the Eminem show, where is your brain? How in any reality is Stillmatic a better album than the Eminem show? The Eminem show is like top 3 of all time, of all albums. Stillmatic's maybe top 50. Now let's move on to track. It's probably not even top 50. That's not even fair. Now we're moving on to track number 20, Story by Stevie Wonder, which is an entertaining story. I was a little disappointed, but mostly just because Stevie Wonder, but I liked the emotion. I liked the nostalgia from it. I don't love it, but, I like the story points of this film, and I think it gives it more of a humanity. Then we're giving the track Still I Rise, which I enjoyed, but I was a little underwhelmed with it. It was one of those tracks I just walked away from this album not really thinking about, but it had a nice beat to it, had nice flows, it was a cool ending. It just wasn't the right ending to this. I think a cooler ending would have been, I don't know, something like, to kind of scroll up about on the album. I want to find something I think would be a cooler. I don't think anything else here would be a cooler ending, but there are other songs that could have ended this off, but, it worked for me. Detroit 2 by Big Sean is great. This is a great album. I liked it more than its other ones. I think this is even better than I decided. And let me explain why that is. I Decided is in a lot of ways like that album in order to make people realize, oh, he was a good rapper, and then he kills it with the album. This feels like him taking that respect he finally has and powering it into this one album. It's not perfect, like I mentioned a couple points. I don't know if all 18 songs are necessary, but I felt like I was listening to somebody from Detroit. I felt like somebody who really knew the city well, which is entertaining. And Big Sean just proves here that he's not just a B-grade Kanye, B-grade Drake. He's so much more than that. He's become this actual technical, lyrical rapper, and I'm just excited for anything this man gives us at this point. He's come across more now, as he's better now than he was 10 years ago, which is really good for a rapper 10 years into their career to finally have the respect. I don't think he's top 10 of the decade. I don't think he's one of the best, but I got to admit, both of these previous albums have been albums I'm going to revisit heavily. And even though, there are a couple tracks on this I don't love, let me say it like this, if this album was maybe a little shorter, I probably would say this is top 5 of the year. And I'm not saying, I don't mean that lightly, because I've heard a lot of great albums this year. I don't think it's better than King's Disease. I don't think it's better than After Hours or RTJ4, Alfredo, Circles, or No Pressure. But as a Big Sean guy, I think I'll like this more on more listens. I think this will come across like a No Pressure to me. It'll get better on every listen. I feel like there's an emotional point on this. There's really amazing production. I really enjoy this. And I think you might see this in my top 10 at the end of the year because this just worked for me in every way, honestly. Detroit 2 by Big Sean. I'm feeling an A-. That's really positive. It may be a little high. Most people probably won't give it that high of a rating, but I really just enjoyed this. And I'm excited to hear more Big Sean material. I'm not even going to review. I'm probably review this tonight, and then tomorrow I'll be giving you guys another review of the new 6ix9ine album, Tattletales. I don't want to hear it, but I should. See you guys next time, and bye. This is easily my longest review, but probably for the longest album I've ever reviewed, so it makes sense.